Hello there, troopers, and welcome back to another episode of General Kenobi's Debrief. Thank you so much for joining me here in the bunker. So, today we're doing a little bit of catch up on Bad Batch Season 2. This is one that we skipped earlier in the season, but I wanted to cover it because I want to have the full set once the season is done. So, this we're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 10, Retrieval. And so, without further ado, let's just queue up here our video and let's go ahead and get this guy rolling. Okay, so this is the second part to a two-part arc where the Bad Batch have been left stranded in a mining planet and their ship, the Havoc Marauder, has been stolen. So, um, as you would think, retrieval does actually talk about retrieving um, their ship. So we find the Bad Batch in the mining town where we left them off on the previous episode, uh, and they're trying to put things together. How can they basically get themselves out of the jam? Right, and that is because Sid has told them, "Hey, we're not gonna go help. I don't have the resources right now, so you guys figure it out." Omega comes up with a good idea how to track Gonki, which is still on the ship, and so they trace it down to this mining facility that is actually ray shielded. It's a pretty cool facility. If I'm being honest, it looks pretty cool. And of course, we find that the kid that stole the Havoc Marauder is basically part of a larger gang that works for the main boss, right? So to the surprise of nobody, he comes in saying, hey, I stole this for you. Can I get could I get some water and some food? These kids basically steal stuff so that they can get some food, some water, some provisions to stay alive. Really, so they're in a precarious situation for sure. And so the main boss tells him, "Hey, man, you know what? This kind of ship looks military. This could be trouble, but we'll see. You still did okay, right?" And so um, they they track down Gonki, um, who is now with the kid that stole the ship, because he was gifted as a reward from the big boss. Um, and as you would imagine, the Bad Batch shows up, takes down the little kid, and they're pretty upset with him. He basically explains the situation, saying, "Hey, we do what we have to do out here to survive because there's no jobs. Everybody works here in the mine, and we all sort of depend on this arrangement that we got going on." So the kids are actually meant to compete as to who is the top earner, right? And whoever is the top earner gets the reward, depending on how much you stole. Of course, the Bad Batch is like, "Hey, now you gotta help us, get our ship back." The kid agrees, of course, and he says, "Hey, I'm a pretty good thief, so as you can see, because I stole your ship, so let me help you steal it back." Basically, the Bad Batch agrees without, don't really have much choice, and so he starts laying down the layout of the layer, right, of the bad guy's lair. Like I said, it's basically a mine, which he says that it's been degrading. The Ipsian is no longer that pure, and so they're getting less and less money, and that's why the people are suffering even more because even though the output might be the same or even higher, the Ipsian is no good or lower quality, so they get paid less and less every time. So he tells them, you can't use blasters because you'll blow us all up. And so the Bad Batch easily infiltrates through a shaft. As you would think, these guys are covered up. And so he shows them that the main boss has basically like security droids or battle droids, even protecting him at all times. And he shows that all the people in the town basically work there with him. So as you would expect, the Bad Batch sort of splits up. Some of them go with the kid, and some of them Tech goes to start repairing the ship, the Havoc Marauder, because they've already started stripping it for parts. The bad guy, the main guy, again to the surprise of nobody, is basically hoarding all the food, right? And this guy is bad news. He eats, like crazy, and he lives literally the scraps for everybody else. So of course he's hiding, the fact that the man is actually doing good money, and because he's getting a bigger cut every time. So the kid goes with the other kids, which again are sort of the gang, are the pickpockets, that kind of stuff, and they're basically working for the main guy. Um, and so the kid, manages to steal the key to the main office. The bad guy comes in saying, "Hey, you weren't top." You weren't top dog anyway. Even you stole the ship. The other guy that always wins still won. Wrecker and Tech are putting the ship together. Omega and the kid are infiltrating the main office so that they can prep the ship, or prep deactivate, sorry, the ray shields that are around the mine, so that the ship can fly out of there. Omega gives him some food. She notices that the kids are always hungry, right? Like I said, pretty precarious situation. Tech and Wrecker basically and the Bad Batch, put together the ship back, and they get found out by some other kids. So the kid actually sells out Omega because, again, that's all he knows, right? He only wants to get to be the top earner from this guy, so that he can, um, you know, win the reward, which is basically just more food than anybody else. Omega, of course, is disappointed, and then it turns out that they, of course, get ambushed. The Bad Batch is going to rescue Omega, and when things look bad, it turns out that the data that when they broke into the main office, they found the data saying that basically that the Ipsium is top quality, and that actually profits are on the rise. Quite the opposite to what he has been telling the people. As you would expect, the people rebel. She tries to take down Omega. The Bad Batch intervenes, and the miners and the other kids, basically turn against Mako. That's the bad guy's name, who ends up, falling uh, from uh, from the bridge where they were standing on, into the mine. And it's kind of it shows you how these kids don't know any better. That's all they've known, because the thief that stole the ship actually tries to help him, climb back up, but Mako says no, thank you, and he just goes down. So they put together back the ship. The kid is like, hey, basically, if you ever need a thief, I mean, you're dead. A little bit foreboding, right? I'm pretty sure we haven't seen the last of this kid. And then basically they all pack up, and the ship leaves. So that's it. That's basically the episode. And sorry if I don't sound like super excited about this one. We called it back then. It was just gonna be another run of the mill, get our stuff back, with little to no gain. So I don't know what to tell you. Very, very much in the formula of Bad Batch. We kind of figured that was coming from the first part, where they got stranded in that mining planet, and so I can't really say that anything stood out to me as awesome, honestly, on this episode. Like I said, the I feel it was more of an introduction of the kid, because he keeps saying over and over again that's like, yeah, I'm a good thief, I'm a good thief. So I'm sure that's probably going to play a role somewhere in the future, right? They're gonna need to retrieve something, and they're gonna say, oh, you know what, remember that one kid that stole our ship? Let's go get him, right? Mako, your usual thug, out to basically enrich himself over the despair of others. So not a whole lot, new there in terms of character development. And he was taken out at the end. Um, the only thing was that the Bad Batch was a little bit annoyed at the beginning that Sid couldn't get him any help. You know, that's about the only different I would say, theme in this episode aside from the usual stuff. But pretty run of the mill, guys. Again, I don't know what to tell you. It's just one more filler. It's the second part to a filler that we knew was coming. Nothing stood out. There weren't any cool developments that I could pick up on. Not even any cool, like, Easter eggs for that matter. So yeah, pretty mediocre episode if I'm being honest. And we're kind of getting tired of those. So we only got a few episodes left in the season, and some of them have been really good. But yeah, this one was not one of them. But as always, guys, let me know down in the comments, what did you think about this episode? And again, I'm sorry I didn't do this in the right order, but I just wanted to get this one out so that we can move on to better things. So let me know what you think. This is episode 10 already. And do you feel that this has been a good season so far? Again, we only got a handful of episodes left. So, if you weigh the good episodes against the filler episodes, or quote unquote bad episodes, what do you think? Is this being a good season for you? So I would appreciate it if you swing by the main channel, General Kenobi's Bunker, where we like to talk about Star Wars, of course. We like to do toy hunts, toy unboxings, reviews, trailer reactions, that kind of stuff. We also like to go live every Wednesday around 8 p.m. Central on the High Ground. And stay tuned for our Mandalorian Season 3 coverage. And it's kind of cool that we're getting now both Bad Batch and Mandalorian Season 3. So again, guys, go check out this episode if you haven't. Please let me know down in the comments, what are your thoughts? And have you given up on Bad Batch? What's going on? So once again, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. And I'll catch you on the next one.